What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Law Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo, and here with me tonight, Steve Santos. What's going on, Steve Santos?
Counting down to the holidays, to Christmas time. I'd like to take the chance to wish our very loyal supporters very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because I'm not sure we'll talk before then. So
yeah, we usually do that at the end of the show, but since you want to do it in the beginning of the show, that's fine too.
Kind of Luís Freitas Lobo style. Mas primeiro, uma boa tarde e grande abraço a todos, não é?
That's how you do it. Anyway, on tonight's agenda, we're waiting for Chris. I don't know if he's going to be here or not, but either way, on tonight's agenda, we're going to look back at Benfica's Portuguese Cup game against Real Massama. We'll also look back at Benfica's domestic championship game against Estoril that happened this past weekend, and we'll look ahead to Rio Ave that comes up tomorrow. Actually, well, look, there's Cristiano Oliveira. What's going on, Cristiano Oliveira?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Everything good with you?
Sempre.
That's good. So we just started, Cristiano, so you didn't miss much. But that's it. That's what's on the agenda. So let's get right into the Real Massama game. We'll take it real quick. There isn't much to talk about. Portuguese Cup. Benfica played against a third division team. And beat them 3-0. First half wasn't really all that great. Out of the 11 that started against Sporting, only two players from the starting team against Sporting played, Ederson and Almeida. The rest of the guys are guys that haven't been playing all that much. They did get an opportunity, and we saw Steve in the first half, especially in the first half before Gedge came in at the half and sparked a little bit more urgency, that these guys don't have the game rhythm. They don't play every week, and everything seemed very slow. Of course, Massama was happy enough to sit back and defend, but Benfica was not all that great in the first half.
No, there was a definite lack of intensity for various reasons. I'm sure we've mentioned it before. When you play a team for the lower divisions, you kind of play down to their level. You let your game slip a little bit. Then you have a bunch of players who not only haven't played much, they haven't played much together to top it all off. So you're missing a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of knowing what your teammate is going to do, and being able to occupy the space that he's expecting you to be in and whatnot. So that's the type of stuff that happens in games like this. A couple of bright spots. I like that immediately after the halftime talk, it was just one change, which be it is a player that will give you some of that intensity that is missing for Gonçalo Guedes. That completely changed the game. I mean, we came in and had a completely different attitude. So kudos to Rui Vitória for not only seeing the change, the lackluster Carrillo, who didn't look interested to be there yet again, was taken off at halftime, and he lit a fire under the rest of the team's butt, basically, and got them performing. Adding that to Gonçalo Guedes, who really knows how to accelerate the game. That's basically one of his best attributes. He learns where to pick up the ball, and he accelerates the game. So
I think he only knows how to play. I think he only knows how to play with speed, basically.
Yeah, I see that run too. But there's one more guy that I just wanted to give a quick mention about. Zivkovic. That touch it won't fool anybody. That's a player there. I'm very, very interested to see how much more playing time he gets now that I think Carrillo might have worn out on Rui Vitória's patience. So I have to keep an eye on it, but I have a feeling that's probably going to be a more common substitution now that Salvio's out. Will be Zivkovic coming in before Carrillo.
Yeah, I got to be honest, and I think I said this on the last podcast, that my patience is exhausted with Carrillo. Cristiano, I don't know if you have the same feeling.
I'm not yet willing to kill the guy, just not yet. But it's getting there. It's getting to the point where, okay, you might not be playing well at the moment. You might not be in rhythm. You might not be in game shape. But your effort should not be lacking. And especially on this team where there are plenty of other options, you should see that. I mean, you as a player should look around and see, bro, look, I might not be hitting on all cylinders, but if I'm not putting in the effort, these other guys are coming off the bench and everyone is doing their best and playing at 100%. At least they're giving their best effort forward. I at least have to do that. And we don't see that from Carrillo. And like you said, my patience is getting very thin with him, but I'm not there to kill him yet because he did miss a year and things are a little bit different. And I'm willing to give him a couple more months, but it's like, bro, sooner or later, I need to see that effort. Because last year, if you guys recall, I constantly killed Carcella because it looked like he was lollygagging throughout most of the game. And this is exactly what we see from Carrillo.
Yeah,
by the way,
absolutely.
and Zivkovic, man, if you guys heard me over the last year, I've been gushing over this guy. I can't wait to see 100% fit Zivkovic finally get some playing time because we know this kid's a very special player, and I think this kid right here vai dar muito que falar ainda.
Yeah, well, he took the one corner to that was assisted Mitrovic for the first goal. Mitroglou.
We almost had that guy.
I'm going with the Vics here. Mitroglou for the first goal. So I mean, obviously there's talent. We've seen the talent. The guy, he's a designated dead ball situation taker. So there's obviously talent and skill there, and he's entrusted with these functions. So I think that I'm with Cristiano. There's a lot more to come from Zivkovic, and it's not the first time that we see him, and we see little glimpses of things here and there. And I think that as soon as he starts getting more frequent playing time, that he's really going to be a guy that's going to be hard to take out of that 11 or even the first guy coming off the bench. So we'll just have to see. So goals by Mitroglou, 2 goals by Mitroglou, and Jimenez scored 1 goal 1 minute after he came in, 3-0. Benfica goes to the quarterfinals now, where they meet Leixões, and that game is gonna take place at Stade de Luz on the 18th of January. After that, if Benfica does get past Leixões, they'll play the winner of either Estoril or Académica, and the final 4 teams we played, those games will be played over 2 legs. I think it's a new format. Is it a new format? No, it's not a new format. I just think that they're only going to play it in one venue, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
That's really weird. 2 legs. 2 legs. I don't think is. I think is normal, but the one only over 1 location is what you just said.
Yeah, that's dumb. I never heard of that.
That's weird.
Maybe I'm confusing that. I thought it was just one location for all 4 games. Or for
we'll have to read up on that.
Yeah, for all 3 games, I think, the semis and the final. So the winners will play each other in the final in the same spot that they play the semis. I might be mistaken, but I thought I read something like that. But I
don't like the 2-legged matchup. I hate those, especially in the Taça. I really don't like it. I mean, you have a team like Leixões, for example. If they do fall, if they do pull off the shock or shock the world, and they beat Benfica Stade to lose 1-0, right? Odds are Benfica be able to recuperate and go to Leixões and turn that around.
No. So that's the next round. The next round, they'll play 2 legs. The semis, they'll play 2 legs. This is the quarters.
Oh. I'm still 2 shots, but we're all lost.
We're confused today.
Yeah.
We got into
the semis is a 1-game affair. The quarters is a 1-game affair. The semis is a 2-legged affair.
Even that, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like the Copa del Rey. They all get to face each other twice. I don't like it. I hate it. If teams are able to pull off a shocker, the big teams, odds are the big team's going to turn around, recoup, put in their starters, their regulars for the next game, and they'll come away. It gives these little teams little chance to advance. I don't like it. I don't like these 2-legged affairs, whether it's quarters, semis, whatever it is. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's just a reason to fill a calendar and to sell TV rights and ad space, I believe. Just make it one.
No, that's not what it is. You know what it is? It's the Champions League effect. It's exactly what the Champions League did for the big teams. It's to appease the big teams, and you know what? It's less chance that a Leixões Leiria will be in the finals. You know what I mean? If you get 2 legs, that's exactly what it is. It's to appease the big teams and to do right by the big teams. That's what it is. That's all it's about.
Yeah, I think it's about money and ads and selling ads and TV time. But Cristiano, I see your point is valid too. Anyway, so let's next up was Benfica played the Estoril this past Sunday. I'll
Yes,
give you the
sir.
lineup real quick. Ederson, Semedo, Luizão, Lindelof, and Almeida. Rafa and Pizzi. I'm sorry, Feza and Pizzi, Servi and Rafa, Gedgen, Jimenez. Nothing new there. We knew that once Rafa got the start against Sporting, he was going to be the starter now. Servi did go to the right to Salvio's spot, and Jimenez, with the hot foot, goes to center forward. But the biggest thing here, Steve, again, Benfica is struggling again against these little teams that show themselves organized in the back and really defend well behind the ball.
Yeah, Estoril were very intense. Won a lot of the first and second balls. Very tight at the back, 2 banks of 4, very tight. It made it difficult for us to create chances. Nothing new, really. Absolutely nothing new. We've struggled with this kind of stuff for a while now. But hopefully something that we saw towards the end of the game will start to break down these types of situations. Our man Jonas comes in what, the 79th minute, and you could see that it's like a whole other world when the man's on the pitch. Everything, it's like Gonçalo Guedes speeds up the game by running faster, speeds up the game because he thinks so fast that he has to wait for the game to come to him. It's he's got this uncanny ability of just playing at his own pace, and it's like he's waiting for all the other pieces to get into place before he lays off the ball. It's insane. I hope that he could stay fit and be at a physical level that is enough for him to play at that level. I mean, the guy's not no supreme athlete. He's not Gonçalo Guedes. He's not gonna to outmuscle people. He just needs to be fit enough so that he can last his 70, 80 minutes and just spread his class around the pitch, because it's just something else. I mean, when he comes on, you even see Rafa in a different light, because they're wavelength to a good portion of the side that we have.
Yeah, 100%. But Steve, a couple things real quick. One, hats off to Ederson, who week in, week out keeps us in the games. That's number
Man
one.
of the match.
Number two, Benfica's defending of the counterattack has got me worried. Okay, when they play these little teams, it's like they get to the goal very easily, and if it's not for Ederson, you know, we'd be looking and talking about these games in a totally different light. And number three, well, I got 4 points. Number three, Luizão keeps slipping, and I'm starting
playing
to think,
on roller
man,
skates.
Is it my man slipping, or he's just like, I'm beat? Let me act like I'm slipping.
He's on roller skates.
No.
It happens every week. And then my last point, and you guys could give me feedback on this. My last point is, I'm in love with Rafa. Okay, I'm in love with Rafa. I think the guy's got this. He's got the goods. But dude, my man learn how to finish. My man can't. He can't score the whorehouse with a stack of hundreds. You know what I mean? It's depressing. It's depressing. It's got me worried.
Let's hope that will come with time. Even in the final pass,
he's 24, bro. Lacking. He's 24. He's not gonna finalize it.
Yeah. I'm not saying by age. I'm saying by this is a guy who's had a bit of time off. A guy who's getting more accustomed to his teammates, to what Rui Vitória wants him to do. Let's give him a little bit of time in that sense, because the ease at which he gets into that stage where it's to make that final ball, to make that shot, he gets there very, very easily. I mean, the way the guy can make his first touch, beat his man, and be ready to face the game in front of him with time is not, I don't want to say incredible, but it's something that's not normal in our league.
In the Portuguese, very easily for him, 100%. The Portuguese, very easy for him to do that. But you know what, Steve? I think I've seen enough of him in a handful of games here that tells me o gajo não tem aquele sangue frio. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that running through his veins. And it's like, okay, I like you. Like I said, I'm in love with the guy. You know what I mean? But his lack of finishing, man, has me scratching my head. And it's like, you know, what you're saying, Steve, makes you know, it's a valid point. But In this case, I'm not sitting questioning whether he's going to get into. He understands the system. He's going to get into an understanding of what's going on with his rest of his teammates. This is more an individual thing that I'm just sitting here and critiquing, which is, like you've mentioned, he gets into these positions rather easily, especially in particular in the Portuguese league. And then it's right when you're ready to throw your arms up.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with Rafa is that he does very well to put himself in those positions. Like Steve mentions, the first touch and the first control is very quick and is always forward control, and it's always something progressive. But I think that once there's a good target for him, such as Jonas, he probably won't need to be the finishers that we need him. He probably won't need to be penetrating as much into that final third, into a goal scoring opportunity as we're seeing him right now, because maybe there's not a guy that's doing that right now. But again, he's a guy that's always thinking and going forward. His first thought is always, where can I put this ball to get rid of this defender, or to put myself in a position where I can have a good look at goal. But the looks that he's creating for himself right now, I have to agree with Cristiano. He can't finish for the life of me.
Alfredo, the
just
last
to be
thing
clear,
on this.
Go ahead,
Steve, go ahead.
Go, Chris, go.
All right, last
go,
thing,
Chris.
just real quick. I could go the other way with that, though, Alfredo. I could say the addition of Jonas is going to open up even more room for him, because the defenders got to concentrate on Jonas. So we could go both ways on this. But go ahead, Steve, as you were saying.
I'm not really expecting his finishing to improve too much. I'm saying more that final ball that I think up to date has not been as good as the rest of his play. I'm not even just the finishing, not the shooting. I mean,
his choices,
just like
choices,
just that choice and the execution is not to the same level as the rest of his game. So that I think he can improve, just because those are the types of things. The more often you get yourself in those situations with the players around you, the more often you're going to know what type of movements Raul makes, what type of movements Pizzi, like what's his timing like to come into the top of the box. All those kinds of things, they time to develop and time to understand. So that's where I'm expecting that to improve. I'm not 100% sure he's going to get the touch, the cool nerves, like you say, to put away those shots in the box. That I'm not.
His final ball against Bort, I think that was pretty sweet, though. That bought him a lot of time. That bought him a lot of patience. That was sweet. I'll say that.
But here's the thing, right? So let's looking down a month down the season, where both Rafa is in the stride of things, and Jonas, especially Jonas, has come in now, and he's ready to be the guy, the starter. Who do you guys see being pulled out on this team for Jonas to play?
I already told you. I see a bunch of different scenarios here. One, Salvio's injury. If he doesn't come back 100%, and Servi or Zivkovic or even a Carrillo don't grab that spot by the horns, guys, I'm still a believer that some way, somehow, Rafa find himself on the left, Pizzi in the middle, and Guedes on the right, with Jimenez, Mitroglou, whichever one of those, combination, one of those two, with Jonas up top. I still think Guedes might play outside if none of those other guys grab that position by the horns.
Yeah.
Well, I think
as unfair as I find it to Servi that will happen, I think Guedes has done enough in Rui Vitoria's eyes to warrant a starting spot, no matter where it ends up. So
yeah, but what if Guedes is not as effective on the wing? I mean, because right now he's pretty effective where he is.
Salvi wasn't effective on the wing for the
that
first
was my point. That was my point.
He kept playing over and over again. So that's my thing where I think Rui Vitoria has. He has, I don't want to say he has his core group of guys, but he has a guy there that's consistently performed for him, even if it's sometimes not at the highest level that you need him at, but it's at a very good level. It's hard to push him out of the side. I just think that Servi's also performed at basically the same level, if you ask me, and I think he's going to get squeezed out. But we'll have to keep an eye on it.
You guys have heard me sit here on a podcast and say throughout last year, and even at the beginning of this season, I thought that Guedes maybe should have gone out on loan because I think it might benefit his development, right? saying that,
Yes.
I'm retracted. I think Geddes has actually improved a lot, believe it or not. And yes, I am sitting here. He's still, he's another one of those guys. He's a lot younger than Rafa, but another one of those guys that I think his limitations right now are on the finishing end of things, because everything else the kid brings into the game, he brings that one thing that we've all been praising about Jimenez. He brings the heart, bro, and the effort. And I think you appreciate it. And I think Vitória appreciates that. And that's why I see it very hard for Vitória to pull him out of the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's going to be tough. I think that I don't know. It's good to have these type of headaches and these type of choices and these type of dilemmas of which guy you're going to put, and to be able to have the type of talent to choose from. That's definitely not a bad thing by all means. And whoever decides to play in there, I think that will do a good job. I just, like I said to you guys, my patience with Carrillo has worn out. I think that Zivkovic has a lot to give to this team. I think Rafa locks up that left side. I think that Servi is more effective on the left side, as we saw, as we've seen. I think there was a clear order on the Estoril game where Rui Vitória asked both Rafa and Servi to switch sides during the game, and we saw a better Servi on the left rather than the right. So, Servi might not be the guy for the right. And Gedge, I don't know. I don't know if, Gedge has improved a lot, but is he a guy to play on the wing? I know that his desire and his motivation and his speed will make him the ideal candidate, a guy that would fit in there, but I just don't know if he's a naturally suited player to play there, to play in the system that Vitória wants.
It's something we'll have to keep an eye out on. He's played on the right numerous times. He's never been that bad or that good. But I'll tell you one thing, he's improving a lot playing down the middle, where he's constantly an option for the ball carrier. He's constantly moving. If he brings that type of stuff, that type of learning curve to the wing, he will improve there too. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get the nod on the right. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. But that's my gut, and I think that's all of our guts. I think we all think the same thing, that he's going to get the first look before Servi does.
I think the other guys are going to get the look, but like I said, if none of them grab that opportunity, I think the easy way out is just install Geddes over there, and then you leave Servi to back up and be your first midfielder off the bench, back up Rafa, and then you got Zivkovic who could play on either one of the wings. He could also play in the middle, come off the bench. I think that's what, if these guys, if Salvio and Servi and Carrillo and Ziv, if they don't take that opportunity, I think that's more than likely what we're going to see. Because, hey, the kid's improved, and if you're going to give players minutes based on their effort on the field, I mean, there's not many guys on Benfica, at least on the pitch, that give out more effort than Gonzalo Geddes. And Alfredo, I just wanted to ask you something real quick. I don't know if you did. I'm burnt, and I apologize. Read me the starting lineup against Estoril and the bench real quick, because I have a point to make, but I need to be certain about something first.
I don't have the bench.
Oh, damn.
What point are you trying to make?
We could guess the bench. We'll go Jonas, Paul Lopes. Let's see.
Zivkovic,
we got
Jardel, Zivkovic, Samaris.
Jardel,
Mitrovic. So
Samaris.
The question I was asking is, see, this which goes back to last week's pod, right? And it's a touchy subject, but last week, the point that I didn't understand the whole Danilo substitution, right? In a big game. And now, if he wasn't even on the bench, if he was on the bench, he still came out with Samaris and left Danilo on the bench. I still don't understand the whole situation. And that's why, to me, the game and the substitution against Sporting still boggles my mind to this day. And I still think there's something there. I don't get it. I don't get it.
He played him in a Taça.
Against Massama?
He played him against Massama.
He played the full 90, I believe, in that match.
I didn't even watch that game, to be honest with you guys.
Well done.
I don't have Gold TV.
Here,
I don't have Gold TV.
If you wanna speculate further, here's the real question mark for me. Celis is included in the 20 for tomorrow's match. Is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Versus Rio Ave. and Danilo was not. So question marks there for me. So keep an eye on that.
That's still. I still don't understand what the hell that substitution and that use of the player in Sporting was. But I guess we'll find out down the line. But I just wanted to reiterate that because it's something that I think all of us question and we all try to explain it to best of our knowledge, but it still makes no sense. On to the next topic, Alfredo. I apologize to retract.
No problem. I think Neil also mentioned that is it just me or Rafa not able to score with his left? Great player, but wastes his opportunities, especially with his left. I think it's both left and right.
He hasn't scored with his right and his head. So,
yeah, he's had a couple looks with his head also. So, a penalty. I thought it was a clear penalty. Cristiano, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the game and see the penalty and what it looked like to you. Obviously, there was a couple other
for Benfica.
For Estoril, yeah.
For Estoril, for Benfica.
Yeah, for Benfica.
Against Estoril. Yeah. No, that was a penalty. That was a penalty.
Yeah. And there was people were complaining, well, he can't really dive with his hands not being out. But, you're trying to go around the guy has his arm out, and it stops the ball from going around him. Obviously, to me, that's a clear penalty. There was other penalties for Benfica that weren't called, so I don't understand what's going on. But, Cristiano, what do you make of Porto? All of a sudden, they're tallying all the penalties that they have not been called in favor of 15 points. 15 penalties. Pinto Costa came out today. It says that the tally is up in 15. What do you make of this whole Pinto Costa thing?
And musica, it's music to my ears. I love it. I love to have these crybabies cry. All right. One thing I did yesterday, João Gonçalves, a guy that's been on Benfica TV plenty of times, he retweeted something from a Vaquero character. All right. Where basically it's the story of Benfica from 94 to 2005. And if you got, and I'm gonna retweet that a little bit later on. If you guys get a chance to check that out, you'll
watch the first 5 minutes.
Oh my God! And so watch that for anyway, even a Portuguese, bro. If you're like honest, like me, I'm a Benfiquista. I have no problem. You guys, last week we argued on the pod about the PZ handball. As you guys could tell, I call a spade, whether it favors my team or hurts my team. And if you Portuguistas are like I am, watch that, and you tell me if this is not hysterical. The fact that Porto is now crying. I mean, come on, dude. I love it. Yeah,
watch the first. I think it's either the first 2 or 5 minutes of that video. I'm gonna try to retweet it also, and you'll see how bad it was. What Porto players were able to get away with. Chasing referees down the field. Referees
basically bumping them and hitting them. And then one thing,
just bumping them.
Alfredo, the one thing I used to say back in the days, and until watching that last night, it brought back vivid memories, which was coitadinho do João Pinto. João Pinto, there was no player that was tortured more over those 10 years than João Pinto, and in particular about Paulinho Santos, man. Those two constant. And watch that video, and you'll see Emerson. You'll see guys coming two-legged like studs to the knee, and the referee's like, play on, and it's like, wow. And so watch that, and then let me know your reaction. And be honest, Portistas. I doubt that any Portistas listening, but I'm pretty sure you Benfiquistas can get a little bit of a clip of this to your Portista friends. And be honest, guys. Let me know if you don't find this. To me, it's hysterical. I love it. I love the fact that Pinto Costa is complaining because he's won campeonatos. He's won, he's made a career on being corrupt, a career on buying referees, a career on bullshit penalties. And now you're the one crying about it? Yo, like I've always said, sporting goes in a cycle, okay? Sometimes it goes good for you. Sometimes it goes bad for you, all right? Just like those crybabies that's bored and that want to complain about handballs. Benfica gave up the lead, okay, or fell behind 1-0 on a clear offsides that was not called against them. That was not called in their favor against Estoril on the weekend. And like I told some of my Sportingista friends after the Clásico, not the Clásico, I apologize, there's only one Clásico in Portugal, the Derby, I told them, yo, listen, I'm not saying it didn't help out, but yo, it's going to come back around. It's what soccer is about. It's what sports is about. And Benfica could have very easily gotten hurt by that decision, but then obviously, you know, the guy hits the post and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Benfica were fortunate enough to get a few breaks. Right at the end of the game, Estoril had a chance to tie the game with that header that just went off the mark that Ederson was beat. But Ederson, again, proving why he's perhaps the best goalkeeper in Portugal right now. But I just retweeted that from the Benfica podcast tweet Twitter feed. If you want to check that out, just watch the first 5 minutes, and you will have an idea of what the 90s were like. The 90s were dark times for Benfica, but a lot had to do with the fact of the dominance of Porto inside, both inside, but mostly outside the rectangular pitch. So definitely go check that out. I'm sure you'll be impressed. You probably have never seen anything like that for all the years that you've been watching football. You probably never seen anything like that. I should definitely recommend that you go watch that. So 3 points for Benfica, which all the better. Sporting ended up losing their match against Braga. This time they couldn't blame it on Benfica, but they found a way to blame it on the derby, on why they're now 8 points behind. But that's neither here nor there. But 3 important points for Benfica in a pitch that's usually very difficult for Benfica to play in. So up next comes Rio Ave. Benfica plays this Wednesday, obviously because of the Christmas holiday that's coming. 6 p.m. local. So make sure that you tune your streams or your streaming services 1 p.m. East Coast US. Last five between Rio Ave and Benfica, 5 wins for Benfica. Last 10 head-to-heads, 9 wins for Benfica, 1 loss. Rio Ave has never won at the Luz in the last 22 games that Rio Ave has played there. Their coach is Luis Castro, former Futebol Clube do Porto B coach. He also coached Penafiel, and he's been doing pretty well. They're on a streak of 4 consecutive wins. They're currently 6th place in the league, 7 wins, 2 ties, and 5 losses. Away 3 wins, 2 ties, and 1 loss, and they have the second best register of goals allowed when they play away from their stadium. So it's going to be a very tough game for Benfica against Rio Ave, especially because ever since this guy took over, this is actually their second coach. They have not lost the game yet, and I think that if they beat Benfica, they end up breaking their best record ever in the first division. Steve,
yeah, they've never won 5 games in a row, and like you said, second coach replacing another Portuguese in Capucho.
Yeah,
that's right. Steve, what do you make of this? What do you make of this game?
It's one of those tough games just before the Christmas break. Maybe the guys are slightly not concentrating as much as you would want them to be. You have a Rio Ave team that, hey, coming to the Luz is always one of the biggest games in the season. They have players that have been at the club for a long time. They've had some success. They might feel that they could go to Benfica and cause us some problems. The Tarantinis and Vilas Boas and those types of sorts. There's Rodrigo Miranda who's got Benfica history as well. So there's guys out there that are going to have an extra point to prove. That are going to be looking to pull something off. And then you have guys on our side that it's not a big 3 game. It's a team, albeit of the bigger teams in the mid-table, but it's not of the same stature. You have to worry about the way they're going to approach this game. So call it one of those, what did you call them, a trap game or a banana peel game? I don't want to call it that, but it has feelings of that, to be absolutely honest.
I think because of the setting, Steve, because when you look, and Benfica's got to be mindful of this team. This team comes in, like I said, comes into this game winning 4 games. They're probably their best streak of their history. Benfica's got to be mindful of this team. And this team was a team that I think tied Sporting earlier in the season, or beat Sporting earlier in the season.
I think they beat Sporting with Capucho still there, 2-1, 3-1, something like that, if I remember right.
And they went on a losing streak for like 5 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that the setting, you're right, Steve. I understand what you're saying. The setting with the players already looking for a little bit of extra time off because of the holiday. I think that the setting could have the makings of a trap game, but I think that the team is going to be very well instructed that this Rio Ave team is not going to be an easy game at Estádio da Luz tomorrow. Cristiano, what do you make of this?
2-0, amanhã jogam em casa, os adeptos vão dar a força que o Benfica precisa. But what I really want to talk about, though, is the disparity and what the hell's going on in the Portuguese league. How in the hell do Porto play games ahead of time because they want to go on vacation? What kind of palhaçada is this, bro? I'm surprised they're making a bigger deal of this than I am. I mean, that is retarded. I can't use the word retarded. That's just dumb.
But I think that, Chris, as long as both teams are in agreement, they go.
But the league shouldn't allow that. Hey, guys, I want to go on vacation. Let me play all my games ahead of time, all right? All right, no problem. Sure, brother, what you want? I mean, were we back in the 90s when Pinto Costa's running the league again? Is this what it is? Because, guys, just think about it, man. It makes no sense.
Well, they had the Portuguese Cup fixture, which they're no longer in the Portuguese Cup, so they used that to play a game early, and now today they just play.
So why don't they just tell the league, we're gonna play a game a week throughout the international break. We want to finish in like February. It's like that we get enough time until July to recuperate. All right, let's just play all our games ahead of time. Okay, sure, no problem. You're in no competition. Do what you got.
And Cristiano, the biggest thing is that mentally, I wonder if that presents an edge, because every time they play, even they have a game on Benfica, they get closer. And I wonder if they're trying
not
to
just that, but it also
edge.
The reverse effect on Benfica. I mean, it puts pressure on Benfica tomorrow. You know what I mean? They're a point behind. It does put pressure. Like you said, you're going up against a very good Rio Ave team. Even though you're playing at home, I expect Benfica to win that game because it was at home. If it was on the road, I'd be a lot more preoccupied. But it still puts pressure on Benfica that it shouldn't be. It gives Porto an extra, 3-4 days, of a break because of the whole Christmas break. It just, dude, it makes no sense. I don't understand the decisions that are made by the Liga half the time. I mean, it's like you opening up a can of worms when you really don't have to. It's like, guys, look, schedule comes out, you play on these such dates. I mean, now let's just switch. Hey, you know what? I'm playing in good form now. Could I play the Sporting game this week? Because in 2 months, I don't know if my guys are going to be in good form or if my guys are ever going to be healthy. But now, before I sell Lindelof and everybody else leaves, let me play them now, guys. Okay, sure, play them now. I mean, what the? It's just dumb, dude. It's just dumb. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm going off on a rant, but it makes no sense.
I'm with you. Cristiano. I don't know. I think that I've heard a lot of people, especially in the Benfica community, question what's going on, why that happened. I mean, I get that you might try to give the players a little more time, but the league should be fair for all teams.
I'm hoping they all go back to their countries and they get fat and they all come back fat, gordos, and it backfires on them. Then Pinto Costa vai lá chicotada, and that's everything is gonna go up in flames. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, they just squeezed out at that game against Chaves. They almost tied that game. They were losing for a while, but they ended up on top. Anyway,
it would have been great if they lost and then Pinto Costa came out and complained, we're playing too many games back to back, no rest. Because that's what they would have done. That's what they would have done.
Yeah. So anyway, the biggest topic of the day has been obviously the impending Victor Lindelof transfer to Man United. As some of the papers are reporting, 45 million with some incentives or some bonuses to be hit. Lindelof's clause is actually 30 million, but some people are saying or speculating, I don't know, I don't have the inside information, that because he's going in the winter and not in the summer, that Benfica can alter the clause. And I think that's total bullshit. I think that the clause is a clause, no matter if it's a winter, summer, or whatever.
I don't think it's that Benfica could alter it, Alfred. I think that because he signed an extension or whatever it was, I think that the new clause kicks in the summer. That's what it is. Until then, it was 45. But the new renewed contract he signed, I think that clause only kicks in the summer. That's why they're selling him now, because in the summer they can't sell him for 45. In the summer, the new clause comes in to effect. You understand? That's what it is.
So his new contract is the lower clause, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's what it is. Benfica, I guess, saw that he was a starter last year. They gave him a new contract, probably with a higher salary, lower clause, which we've seen in the past. but it only kicks in after the summer, after this season. So Benfica's trying to sell him now because now, I mean, I'm assuming that's from what I read. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, it's very possible. That's very possible. Logic makes sense. But I think I might have said here on the podcast once or twice that I didn't think that Lindelof was going to go past the winter, and I think that Mourinho had a good eye on him, especially with that center defender problem they've been having up in at Old Trafford.
Come on, man! They got
like
Doyen. They got a Doyen
thing.
product. They got Marcos Rojo from Doyen. Come on, he's a great player.
The left back.
The left back turned center back. Yeah. Doyen. I mean, not Doyen. I'm sorry. He's a Man United player. Yeah, but you know what I mean. You guys get the drift.
Yeah. So just to give you some stats on Lindelof, 22 years old. Timo actually just met him in Lisbon when he was there. 21 games for Benfica so far. In his prize closet, if you will, one U21 European Cup, one Junior Portuguese Championship for Benfica.
What? He scored the game-winning penalty against Portugal in that European Cup. Just throw it out there.
There you go. One Junior Championship for Benfica, one Super Cup, two Portuguese leagues, one Portuguese Cup, and one League Cup. That's quite an impressive closet of trophies, Steve, for somebody that's 22 years old. He was also voted Young Player of the Year for Sweden just this past year, if I'm not mistaken, or this year.
Yeah, this year.
The ceiling is very, very high for Lindelof.
Yeah,
I'd have to say he's one of the players that I definitely read wrong. I was not super impressed by him maybe about a year and a half ago, but he's completely convinced me now. To be absolutely honest, I am not a big fan of selling players that are in your starting 11 in January, but 45 million is a lot of money, and it becomes very difficult for you to say no. I know we've done it before, the Matic's, the David Luiz's, and we've still won leagues. So it's not saying, okay, we sell them, that's doom and gloom, we're not going to win the league, especially now with the players that we have that play in that position. I mean, both Jardel and Lisandro are very viable substitutes. It's a guy in your starting 11. It should be, we're in a financial state where we could say no and say, you know what, come back in the summer for 40 or 35 and let us win our league, get away. But I don't think that will ever be the case for any Portuguese team. 45 million is probably something we'll never be able to say no to, no matter when they come and knocking.
That's the Timo effect. He meets Timo, he's valued at 30. He meets Timo leaves Lisbon, he goes for 45. You know what I mean? That's what it is, the Timo effect. Steve, I think Benfica thinks that they're very well covered at that position. Not only you got Lisandro, who's proved that he could start. You got Jardel, who's a monster. You have a guy in Kaleka that's supposed to be pretty good, another future prospect, the kid Pinto from the B team, the captain from the B team. And now I've heard Dias Pinto, is close. It's Portuguese. I heard the rumors of Jeff Font. I hope that's not true. I hope he doesn't come anywhere near Benfica. Heard the other
that was shot down today in the ball, supposedly. So.
Another kid, the kid Pereira, whatever, Ricardo Pereira from Braga. I mean, if he's gonna come to sit on the bench and rot on the bench, I mean, right now, guys, let's be honest, it's going to take a very, very, very good player to come to Benfica and supplant Jardel or even Lisandro. I mean, how many guys are really gonna sign that are better than these two guys at the moment? Not many.
No, I think it's pointless to bring somebody else, especially when you got Kalisa in the B team. Jardel and Lisandro Lopes are more than competent substitutions for Luizão.
Litzkov.
Yeah, that's right. But Litzkov has said that he doesn't want to play for Benfica anymore.
Not how long came back. And Litzkov, I didn't hear that he didn't want to play. But Litzkov, as far I figured he's the Benfica future, but I guess not. I didn't hear that he didn't want to play.
Yeah, he did say that he wanted to return to Benfica a few months back, if I'm not mistaken. I remember reading that in one of the papers. But I'm with you, Steve. I think that. I hate selling starters in the middle of the season, but 45 million is a lot of money. that it's hard to pass up on a center back. You would actually will beat Benfica's biggest sell, which was Axel Witsel for 40 million. So he would have beaten the value of the most expensive player that Benfica has ever sold, if he is sold indeed for 45 million. Look, Man U has the money, and Mourinho will get him. He needs to improve that back line. Chris, what do you make of this?
Hey, I'm okay with the move, guys. I really am. And I know it sounds crazy because I've fallen in love with the guy. And Steve, you said a year and a half ago, I think he really only broke into February in a Taça game against one of them teams where the kid from Benfica played. Remember the kid from Benfica? He had played at Benfica. He's like 30-something now. Like a burgundy team. I forget.
I know what you're talking about. There's a team from
Aguiar,
Lisbon.
is it Aguiar? Yeah, team from Lisbon.
Aguiar, yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't look good. Lindelof looked nervous, and we're all sitting on the podcast like, oh my God, this is the guy. And I remember I even criticized, come on, man, he's only playing because he's hurt. And then he starts. I mean, the guy's been fantastic ever since. But I'm gonna tell you the difference, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is not a Renato.
Chris, you're breaking up a lot.
Chris, you're breaking out, man. I wasn't sure if it was just me, but
every two words you're going out.
Tweet that. Tweet those thoughts.
Put your hand out the window, bro. See if you can get a good reception.
I'm good now. The reason why I'm okay with this move, guys, this is unlike the Renato Sanchez, or if a Jonas was to go, or if a Grimaldo or Smith were to go, for example, where those moves would bother me a lot more than this, because at those positions, Benfica is very thin. In this case, you have Lisandro Lopez, who could start on this team every day. You have Jardel. It's not like we're going from a player that's very near that world-class level to an unproven, to a kid that we know absolutely nothing about. We have two very good players to cover for him. That's why I'm okay with this move.
Yeah. And don't forget, you got the guy from the Hockey Patins team that's been starting for Benfica and center back as of late. That guy could also play a little bit.
Sadly, he's one of the reasons why I would like Benfica to bring in some other youngster. I don't want to see José Fonte, nobody like that. I'm not sure about this kid.
No.
I want to see youngster because I want to develop. Because, I mean, let's be honest. He's getting long in the tooth. And at some point, I mean, guys, as much as you love him, he's going to leave. So we need to start prepping for the future, guys.
Yeah. There he goes, rolling away.
I think he does that on purpose so he doesn't look like he got beat.
Cristiano, do you when Luizão goes out skating, will you think he uses inline or the classic roller skates?
Come on, bro. He's in Europe. Cuatro rodas, pa. Cuatro rodas. No. Well, I mean, actually, the inline could be four wheels too. But you know what I mean, side by side. You know what I mean, the old school.
The old school
traction.
Do you think he does like the disc? Do you think he does like the disco moves as he's going backwards on his skates?
Yeah, he does. I could see him doing that. Luis. Aí, garoto. Vamos lá, galera. That's my man. But Benfica needs to start worrying about the future, though.
That's right. All right, I think that's all we got. No Twitter questions. There was only a few of them, but that's about it. We want to make this one short. We're not going to be back next week. So we wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thank you for all the support during this year. And hopefully you'll be happy and merry for everyone and safe. Usually these times, it's never good when you get bad news during these times, especially during these festive times. Cristiano, you want to leave a message for the listener?
Yeah, Mo, our boy Mo, Golf's Adventures. He said he can't make it live today, but he wants to send everybody his love. We have a question real quick from PortugueseSoccer.com. He wants you guys to confirm whether or not if I went on that zip line at the start of the lose. And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because if I was there, I would have definitely gone on that. 10 euros. That was pretty cool. I actually like that idea, believe it or not.
That a regular ride now?
It was a 4-day. It was like from the 17th to the 20th. It was just like a holiday special where you could zip down from the third tier to the segunda tier with 10 euros, $40 for the whole family, guys. I mean, think about a gift card for next year.
That's right. And at the end, they'll hand you a pair of roller skates.
Now, at the end, you get to sit at the restaurant with Tarap and have a meal.
A holiday message for the listeners, Christian.
I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy one, and hope Benfica keeps doing their thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again here next year, supporting this great club, and just looking forward to great things.
Yeah, and don't forget April 1st at Stade de Luz.
2nd. Who's counting?
April 2nd, whatever it falls on.
Well,
Steve
they haven't
Santos
confirmed
message.
Just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Keep it short and simple.
That's right. And that's it for us. We will be back after the new year, breaking down Benfica's games for the League Cup and also this Rio Ave game. Benfica, after Rio Ave, they played 2 League Cups. I believe the first is on the 3rd of January, and the other one is following that. So we'll have 2 League Cups and a domestic competition game to talk about. That's it. Thanks again. Happy and Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year, and hopefully all your dreams and resolutions come true for the new year. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you again next year. See ya.